Welcome to the green room.
Hey, Teddy.
It's turbo time.
Who's coming into the green room with us today?
Yeah, Ben Fuller.
Ben Fuller. Ben Fuller is a country singer-songwriter originally from Vermont. Now he's based in Nashville. And the main, parts of his songwriting and his life path are, worship. He just celebrated 1 year sober, which I think we're going to chat about today. And he's a great guy. So why don't we just get to it?
My hands are shaking so damn bad, I can hardly hold that gun. When I shoved around into the magazine, it was my last chance to run. This is a cry for help, and I'm crying out loud. Now I understand. When I let it go, and it hit the ground. Turns out God had other plans.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Tim the Tapman, don't sue me for that intro. We're welcoming you today to another green room with Teddy and Christy. Today we have Ben Fuller, who is a previous SLS feature. We're going to ask him some questions and get to know him. He's playing our first ticketed live concert this Saturday. So check soon for that update. Woo!
We're pumped to have you on.
Hey Ben, how's it going?
Good. I'm so good right now. I feel like I'm always driving, and I feel like I'm obviously not driving right now, but I feel like I'm always on the road and always going crazy. And I'm so thankful to be here. I really, really, really am. So thanks for having me.
Very welcome.
So you're from Vermont, was it?
I'm from Vermont, and that is a state. Vermont is a lot of people don't know, but Vermont has the same amount of people in the whole state as the city of Nashville. And so it's like really crazy, but it's spread out. The mountains are beautiful. And so I retreated from Nashville, from here, to go back home in Vermont and go to work as a stonemason is what I do primarily, other than music. And so, I just got back to Nashville Monday morning at 6 a.m.
I love Nashville. It's like my favorite place on the planet.
So do I. And it's one of those like it's just a magnet for us. I mean, it's a magnet for creativity and for beautiful people to just all like, and I've been like hanging out with so many amazing people, and like not even my type, like, like the type of people that you wouldn't hang out with in high school, or that you wouldn't, whatever it is, it's that common goal that we all have. So.
I was just there in March, right before the pandemic kind of took over. It was like my last hurrah. And then it was like, oh crap. And so then we all had to go inside, and I have been indoors ever since.
Yeah. It's been kind of scary, for a lot of people. And just getting back to Tennessee, I feel like there's 50% of the people aren't wearing masks and are like really don't care, and then there are 50% that are like really still being very, very cautious. So
wear your masks, kids.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I pulled mine down just for this. Yeah, just for this.
I like to make them. I have like Halloween masks I sew. So I've like sewed masks. So like everyone I know has a little like skeleton mask. So
Christy, I'm sending you my address.
Sure. I'll send you masks.
Halloween's coming.
We'll chat. I'll give you my contact.
I love that. Yes.
So Ben, how is it being a traveling musician during COVID times? Tell me a little bit about your experiences.
Wow. Yeah, it's been so calm for me and so beautiful almost in a way. And despite the crazy and the uncertainty, I don't watch the news, and I have made a point to not watch it.
I can't. It's like,
And so now that I just feel like not hearing that negative, there's enough, like we all have so much negativity in our lives as it is. And so like not allowing more to enter in, I think has given me that sense of like calming, and it's going to be okay. And like, let's move forward. I'm not a huge fan of hearing like I want to go back to next year, like, or I want to go back to last year, or like, let's bump to next year. It's like, we're lucky to wake up, and we're lucky to be here. And so I think taking that and harnessing that, in a small way or a mighty way, however this COVID time lets you, I think it's important to still try to take little baby steps forward, try to still move forward throughout all this. I've been leading worship at a number of small churches and socially distant stuff inside and outside. And so that's been really beautiful. And I've only had 2 little concerts in the last 6 months, 6.5 months. And that was all social distance, and all the rest were canceled. So I actually fell back on my job as a stonemason in Vermont to help cover my rent in Nashville and stuff. But I feel for those musicians that stayed here, and, I've been writing through this and like just trying to like, either whether it's unemployment or work somewhere through this, like it's been heavy on a lot of people.
And I feel like I reiterate this a lot of times when we do these green rooms with artists. I'm always, happy that scenes can provide at least something for people. Artists need to work. They need to keep doing what they're doing and have an audience in order to, stay engaged with their craft and keep evolving. And I think it's important to support all of our artists locally, nationally during this time. So
For sure.
happy to do that.
Sorry, before we continue, I just need to my dog is being very good, but he's chewing something very loudly, and I'm terrified to mess with the recording.
Bring him in. Come on.
Bring him in. Bring in the Tucker.
You heard me talk about him. He stood up. Tucker, do you want to
Tucker.
You want to come hang out? Okay,
come on, Tucker. It's Tucker time.
It's Tucker time. But yeah, it's been such a blessing to. Oh my goodness.
That okay, I'm done anyway, and we're gonna wrap up the scene from Scenes. And somebody that needs a dog, come on.
Tucker Fuller sounds like a great name. You know?
And I'm getting ready to come up with like a 1-800-SCENES /adoption. Like, join us now. We're getting ready to.
PETA, contact us. ASPCA, hit us up.
Yeah.
We were chatting a bit. So I know that one of your songs coming up for digital release is Other Plans. Can you tell us a little bit about the making of? If there's a story.
Other Plans is a super personal song. I guess everything that on this album, Witness, and the songs that I've written have been super personal, and I make it a point to do that. But yeah, I had kind of struggled a lot as a kid, and I grew up on a dairy farm, and there was a lot of pressure, a lot of immense pressure to just get a lot of work to get done, and we had 165 cows. And so we milked my dad was a dairy farmer, and it just, for whatever reason, God put me through these trials with him and myself, and I struggled to deal with a lot of things, which ended up leading to a lot of drugs. And it also led to, when I was 16 years old, I brushed with attempted suicide. And I don't wish it upon anybody to get to that headspace, but I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people are right now, and especially with the times that we're in. And so the song really just takes everyone through my footsteps and follows me when I was 16 years old and walked out to the woods, and I brought a gun with me, and I thought it was going to be it. And the hook in there was, it turns out God had other plans. And
sorry, I'm not going to cry right now. Give me a second.
No, I literally, Yeah, it's not an easy thing to talk about, and it was really hard for my dad to hear that song, and it was really hard for my family and friends to hear that song that didn't know, and so I didn't tell anybody, and because I was ashamed, and I know a lot of people are ashamed at that, and so I'm just trying to break the stigma along with addiction and along with not talking about things that we need to talk about.
Mhm.
And I just celebrated a year of sobriety on Sunday, and I'm like,
Congratulations.
thank you.
I was gonna say next question. I don't want to bring up another somber topic, but we heard that recently you celebrated a year.
Yeah.
We want to say congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I've been meeting so many wonderful people, and so many amazing hearts have been reaching out to me, and they're just like, my cousin is hurt, my mom passed away, my uncle has a problem, how do you deal with it, how do you get by? And I got brought to church, and I swore that I'd never shove the Bible down anybody's throat or tell everyone how great God is, but I just can't help but brag about what God's done in my life, and I fully expect that he can do the same for somebody else.
We're really happy you're here. And
Thank you.
for me, I was trying not to cry. I lost my cousin. He was 18. It'll be 4 years ago in March to suicide. And it's tough. So like hearing your story and how similar, is like it hits home for me. And I'm sure, and Teddy too. Like I appreciate the talking about things that don't get talked about and things like that, because that's what helps people. So sorry about the tears. I'm gonna edit them out.
Don't, you know what? I think that's the problem with that's the problem. And please, Christy, don't, because so many people edit the things out that they're ashamed of, or that they're not excited for people to learn about them, or like, oh my gosh, that Christy, she's an emotional wreck. Like, good. You're beautiful. You're a beautiful emotional wreck, and you're powerful, and you've got this. Like, that's not, I think crying and letting people see a different side of you is literally, I've cried more times in the last year than I have in all of my 33 years. And I know that people seeing that side are just like, whoa, like what's changing you? I've never seen that before, but it really works because people want that honesty. Like so many people I talk to every day are so tired of hearing the bull crap. And like, you notice more people are posting like pictures on Instagram with like no makeup, like beautiful women, no makeup, like no filter. It's like, this is me. You really want to see what's like, this is me. And I love that stuff because it's like, congratulations. This is what I really look like. This is who I really am. And I think there's a lot of power to be said about that.
Leave the tears in. Absolutely.
If here is Other Plans by Ben Fuller.
My name is Ben Fuller, and this is Other Plans. Pulled it off the wall and held it in my hands. The cold steel and wood turned a boy into a man. I held a hammer back, fingers all red from the rust, and I knew exactly where Daddy hid the shells from us. I left a note by the stove saying I wouldn't be too long. Didn't want Mama to call or come looking where I'd gone. Well, I've been blinded by the pain, and I only had one thought. I set off for the woods, pockets jingled while I walked. My hands were shaking so damn bad, I could hardly hold that gun. When I shoved around into a magazine, it was my last chance to run. This is a cry for help, and I'm crying out loud. Help me understand. As I let it go, and it hit the ground. Turns out God had other plans. Felt the hand of God as he led me off that ledge. I left that rifle lying there in the leaves with my regrets. Well, silhouette still in the paint where it hung up on the wall, reminded me that I was saved when I could have lost it all. My hands were shaking so damn bad I could hardly hold that gun, and I shoved around into the magazine. It was my last chance to run. This is a cry for help, and I'm crying out loud. Help me understand. As I let it go, and it hit the ground. But it turns out God had other plans. My hands are shaking so damn bad I could hardly hold that gun, but I shoved around into the magazine. It was my last chance to run. This is a cry for help, and I'm crying out loud. Now I understand when I let it go and it hit the ground. But turns out God had other plans. Pulled it off the wall and held it in my hands. The cold steel and wood turned a boy into a man.
Holy cow. What a moving performance by Ben, his new song, Other Plans. We really enjoyed that. I think that was a perfect cap to our interview. We did a deep dive today. We got to some really soul-touching places, and I hope that, you know, everybody in the audience and everybody here felt that. And I think that Ben's song fully encapsulates that energy. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Christy. I can't thank you enough. And Tucker, I'm gonna find you a home.
Tucker.
And yeah, for those of you that are just feeling alone and scared, and you know, I got this made up, and it says "Never Alone" on this cuff link, and it's just, I need to remind myself that. So I'm here to remind others. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Scenes, for doing this. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
seriously.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Appreciate it. Mhm.
My hands are shaking so damn bad I can hardly hold